Meeting like this, I want to sincerely say I'm humbled by the fact that God has made this a true thing for me. My desire in my whole life was that when I say something, that I will have God help me accomplish what I say. I hate to say things and I didn't make them happen. I feel so bad when I do that. During my campaign trails, town hall meeting was one of the things that I have mentioned, that if God graced us the office, we will have time to do town hall meetings, to spend time with the people. In my little understanding of legislative work, especially when it's House of Representatives, I understood that I'm supposed to represent the interest of a collection of people, which means I'm not going to necessarily be speaking of my own mandate, but of the mandate of the people that had voted or had sent me to represent. And if that is true, then it will only be right to listen to the people and to give the people a feedback. I had said it in several of my campaign trails that I will be a messenger. You will send me to represent you at the federal level. I will send your word to the National Assembly, and I will collect information and whatever is necessitated for my constituency back to you. The whole exercise of today is to do that activity, is to do that exercise, is to give you a feedback of which you had sent me, and also to listen to you, of which we will continue to do as we move on till the tenure is out. My name is Honorable Ambassador Daniel Asama, and I represent the people of BASSA, just not federal constituency, which is you sitting right here. I want to sincerely appreciate our traditional rulers who have been here very early this morning, even though age is not on their side and it's cold, but they still made time to come. Thank you so much, our parents. I appreciate you. I also want to appreciate the civil society organization as represented and Bello had mentioned. I want to thank you, the community leaders and cultural organizations, especially the indigenous cultural groups that are represented here for BASSA and Just North Federal Constituency. BASSA and Just North is a cosmopolitan and at the same time agrarian communities. And then we are a confluence of so many tribes and so many ethnics and cultures. We have about 6 autochthonous languages that dwell within this geographical location. We also have others who have visited or who have stayed with us to become indigents of this state. We have the representations of the Igbos, the Yorubas, we have the House of Land communities, we have other tribes that are of the southern and eastern regions of Nigeria. We also even have people who are foreigners and are not Nigerians that dwell in here with us. I all appreciate you and thank you for coming. Also, the gentlemen of the press, thank you for coming and thank you for representing us well. In today's world, you are our voices. Gentlemen and ladies of the federal constituency of BASSA local government and BASSA local government and Just North local government that constitute BASSA Just North federal constituency, good morning, Merry Christmas, and welcome. Thank you. Today, I stand as a humble servant whom you had sent to Abuja to represent the interests of BASSA Just North Federal Constituency. I have been sent to do this task, and I'm going to do this little speech so as to guide our conversation. I'm going to plead with you that I will do my best to be concise and to be very informative to the best that I can. You will do us right if you listen, and you will listen with an open heart, and you will listen with a non-biased mind, so that to contribute with non-biasness in everything that you're going to say. A lot of the things I'm going to say here will be educative and informative for a lot of us, and at the same time, it will be at the same time a point of reference for a lot of us. My intention is that after this town hall meeting, we have a better understanding of the office of the member representing BASSA Just North or a legislature that represents the interests of the people in the federal arm of government, and also to open up for the people to have a feel of what their member is doing, and not to always see him on TV and listen to him on media channels, not necessarily getting to meet with the person. I will have to promise that my best is to do this at least once in every year as we roll through this time in office. Concisely, I would love to be doing this at the time where the executive or the legislative year is about to be unfolded, due to what we call the appropriations in Nigeria. Appropriation is a time where the budget of the country is laid and all projects and all development are followed through the appropriation. It will be only good for us to meet at the time like this because the appropriation had just been laid. There we will see what had happened through the budget review, and then we will also have an opportunity to put in what we think should come in for us as the year unfolds. So it will be a good time to always do this kind of town hall meetings. By the special grace of God, I was elected a member of the Federal House of Representatives sometime in February this year by a rerun election that held here in BASSA North Federal Constituency. I was elected under the party Labour Party, and I was elected unanimously by all of BASSA North Federal Constituency. After election, I ceased to be only a member that will represent the interests of Labour Party or a certain political party, but a member that will represent the interests of the people of BASSA North Federal Constituency, regardless of their party affiliation. And because of that, I resumed office, knowing keenly that that is a tax on me. I put in a good research and study of the constituency and fly off to have to hire legislative aides who will work together with me to deliver the mandate of the office. Because of the shared interest in BASSA North and how cosmopolitan and how influenced it is with so many tribes and different interest groups, my legislative aides happen to be about 38 people in numbers that are directly serving with me, and I have 7 that are serving with me in affiliation, and I have 5 that are serving with me directly in the office in Abuja. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the first time that a constituency like this had a number of 42 people represented as legislative aides. I did that to represent the interests of every group that is sitting here. And I also did that so I can create an opportunity for people to have a bread on their table. It may not be big money, but there are some stipends that they get from time to time, monthly basis, that will help sustain them in a way or two. I thought that would be another way. Another thing about legislative aids work is I have a mandate to empower people. My slogan has been empowerment for youth and women. I advocate for the growth of people. And I think another way to do it is to bring in people to work alongside the legislature, to learn the space and to learn that profession and to see how legislative work is being handled. There is about 40 people now that in the next 2 or 3 years, they would have gone through my tutelage and would have learned 1 or 2 things about administration, especially in line to legislative work. I thought that was also important, which makes up that you see that the number had swollen to about 40. When we started, I came in at a time where the constituency was in turmoil. There had been a lot of issues that have been happening, especially with my people in the side of Irigwe and the people bordering Irigwe, which are the Biromites. We had issues internally with cultism. We have issues internally with common and peasant thefts and robberies and some kidnappings along the axis of Faringada, extreme ends of the rocks and all of that, Yukuba Road and all of that. Because of that, I quickly moved a motion of urgent public importance, which was my first appearance in the National Assembly, barely 3 days after I was inaugurated, to tell the federal government that attention must be put into BASSA does not federal constituency in regards to security. I didn't stop at that. By the grace of God, I was able to have something that have done over the period of the 10 months I have been in office. Let me read quickly to you some of the practical developmental attempts we have done to bring in the dividend of democracy in a legislative way to the people of BASSA does not federal constituency. These are some of the things we have done and some of the things we hope that we will do more. In the past 10 months, we were able to have a lobby, like my SLA has said. Let me say this before I go through all of this. Some of the things we have done do not necessarily come to you as a person, but it must have come to an affiliate of yours or to the person that is associated with the certain issue that we are talking about. It may not be directly coming to you, but it is coming within the constituency. We are lobbied. Everything I'm saying here are things we practically work to lobby, because I wasn't part of the budget and the appropriation of 2024. Please, let's note that. I wasn't part of it. And for what had happened in BASSA just now, it's God who had done it. We have no one to blame. But we take it the way it is and just move on. So when I came in, I have to lobby. I have to find ways to get some of this dividend, not to elude us completely, but to get the best that we can get out of them. So some of them are not as significant as they should have been, but at least they didn't elude us completely. I was able to get some ample bags of fertilizer earlier this year, distributed to people across the constituency. We got intervention for IDPs, internally displaced persons, especially in the axis of Irigwe, and some of the people that are within Yalwa Zangam and this other axis. We got intervention of school materials, we got intervention of food, we got intervention of roofing materials, we got intervention of some household supply for the internally displaced. We are able to secure and work with the Nigerian army to have lobbied for about 32 people who got recruited into the army. We were able to employ through the police force and recommended a few people who were able to scale through. We had 12 who had gotten short service. We are able to empower people recently with sewing machines and also empower people with grinding machines across the constituency. We were also able to secure admissions through the goodwill of the office in the University of Jos to a few of our very, very eminent young people who have done well, and then we put a voice for them. This is not that they didn't qualify. This is that they qualified, but they need a word to be put across so that they could get through. We had about 52 who were able to get admission this time. We are working towards securing some slots and even employment opportunities with the Plateau State Polytechnic. I've been in very good talking terms with the rector, and we are working towards a few people to see that they get a slot in the employment that he's going to be doing sometime soon. Recently, we were able to have some small palliative of rice that we distributed as Christmas gift for a few people. Some of you got it and some were not able to, just because the constituency is culminated of 1.87 million people. And with that, you will hardly have to satisfy the entire constituency. The one thing I want to solicit on behalf of my office and my entire staff is whenever we do an act, please look at the benevolence of the act. Do not look at necessarily the size. Let me tell you, for example, I got only 600 bags of rice of 50 kg. that we have to break into 10 kg bags to distribute. That will not do nothing to a constituency of 1.87 million people. But this is what we found, and this is what it is. So we will not say no. We will continue to lobby for the little we have until we are able to have something. I'm not an advocate of short-term solutions. I'm an advocate for long-term solutions. That food palliative is a temporary measure. I am a Red Crosser, and for us, we believe in first aid. You have to sustain a person for the moment of which he needs in order to guide him towards the future. Sometimes you just need a plate of food for today, and then you can see well to struggle for the next day. So when we give you a bag of small portion of rice, it's not to keep you for the rest of your life. It's to tell you that we recognize you, we love you. Eat this for today, and let's hope for what will come tomorrow. We were able to work towards the goodness of this office to bring in football scout from AS Stella Football and Manchester City to scout for football players here on the platform. We have 20 young boys that have been enlisted, that I am telling you that out of them, 7 already have been secured a place to travel to Europe first quarter of this year. I had done football scouting before this office. I love it, and when I got the office, I used the advantage that I could get from the office to bring in the best of scouts to scout for these young people so that we can have a good way of empowering the young men. Football does not only take the kids or the children out of the street, it teaches them discipline, and it boosts a lot of our economy. Here on the plateau, we are very fortunate to have quite a number of young men who has boosted our economy from football. And why not look into it if it is a way that we can empower our people? We have been able to secure 6 classroom blocks, of which we are presently building a primary school, 6 classroom blocks. And I will permit you to say this. I'm not saying it with biasness, but I'm saying with due respect to all of you. I put it in my village, and there is a reason I put it there. Not only because I come from that village, because it's the extreme end village of the constituency. It is bordering Kaduna and Plateau. Some of you have never been there. If you go there once, you will understand it is worth having a primary school. And I chose to put it there as a beginning, as it comes up. I'm saying it deliberately so that when you come to respond, you wouldn't say member only took it to his people. I'm telling you the truth. I am more of a just person than I am of a BASSA man. Because I was born here, I grew up here. They even know me here than they know me in my village. So it is not being biased, it's just that there was a need. We did a need assessment, and we found out that is what the most needful place for right now to have that kind of a school. And that's why we were able to pay WAEC and NECO for about 600 of our students. And I want you to know that aside from paying the WAEC for the 600, we have been empowering some of them practically on how to actually pass the WAEC and the NECO. Because it's not just paying, we need to tutor them in a way that they should be able to pass it. By the grace of God, we are able to get 1 borehole already done and ready to be commissioned. We were able to put this in just Jarawa community for now, but it's going to be flying all over the places as we roll through 2025. I will say it again, when we do this kind of projects, we are not looking down on you or not saying that your own constituency does not warrant for that. It is just too wide, or we'll have to just start somewhere. But as God will grace us, we will spread it all across, that everybody will feel the impact of what we're doing in one way or the other. If you do not feel for some reason on other items, you will feel on some other items. I just laid to you some practical dividends of democracy that we're able to bring to the constituency. Work that are so pending that I'm trying to pull to make sure I deliver in the nearest future. I still have 12 bills I have presented. I'm looking into presenting 3 more in the first quarter of this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to let you know that it is not just intentional, but it is deliberate, and it's an attempt to break even, not just for BASSA just now, but to make records and to make standing records that will be recorded in history that there was a representative. I am doing it intentionally for the mandate of which I'm called for. To present 12 bills in a year is not very common. Not every members are able to do that. And I'm telling you that as your representative, I want to do such. The mandate of the member of the House of Representatives is not different from anything that we know that the legislative arm is mandated to do in a federal legislative or in a federal democratic system. Our work is to oversight ministries and MDAs and also oversight the executive itself. Our work is to make laws, is to enact laws, is to repeal laws, is to amend laws. Our work is to work with our constituents together with MDAs and other civil society organizations to bring development for the people. Having said that, I want to applaud you to be open and be rational and to be realistic as we lay out some of the things we need to see happen in BASSA Jos North Federal Constituency. It is our constituency. Our desire is to grow the constituency. Everything we do here, let our desire be that of the constituency. Individuality in a collective way is the only way we will prosper. But when we are biased and when we become sentimental to only us, we may not forge a way forward. BASSA Jos North may not develop or may not get to meet up with the trends of other constituents or other constituencies across the nation. We are very respected as the people of BASSA Jos North Federal Constituency. It may interest you to know that the stool of power in Nigeria is never finished without Plateau State in it. And it's never finished without the Northern Plateau in it. And it's never finished without BASSA Jos North in it. Yes. When democracy returned, I knew the permutation that was done with Ikweme, Obasanjo, and all of that. And it all ended up, it started here with them Solomon Lar, and ended up from here that Obasanjo was christened to become the president of Nigeria as democracy returned. Here in the northern part of Plateau and in Jos North, BASSA Federal Constituency, and the primaries were done in Rampam Township Stadium. Those of you who were there, you remember this. It has never changed. Even to the past election, they know that they will have to come to Plateau. They know that BASSA Jos North Federal Constituency has to be an emblem if they have to forge forward democratically. Let's hold on to what we are known for. Let's celebrate what we have known for. Let's speak it and let's be loud about it. And let's look not too much on our negativity, but only bring the negativity to build us into positivity. Our diversions, our diversification in tribes and religion will only grow us stronger. But if Father mutanen BASSA Jos North zai yi wahala yanzu ka zo ka hada mu wai mu yi duka wai wannan musulmi ne ko wannan krista ne. We will not do that again. We are too wise. Mu ce wurin in kuka lura ya dade da muka yi wannan abu kuma ba za mu yi ba, because we are wise now. We know they only do that to drag us backward. No vanquish, no victor. We all end up losing. Yoba will determine us. We cannot, who has gained from that? My constituents, let's focus on growing our constituency. There are pockets of violence which could happen. A misunderstanding which could happen between us. But that will not culminate into a vast crisis. We will not agree with that. Of course. We will tame those little young men who are snatching phones on the street. We will tame those young men who think that there is something they are doing that they call cultism. We will be showing them how negative it is, so that they will see more light into not doing those things. We will not engage a whole community into individual issues, because we are bigger than this little pocket of violence. We can do better than that. I commend the people of BASSA Jos North for holding on to peace. The person was agitated. Why are you not going to Jos? He said, you know, Jos can be sometimes unpredictable. I don't want something to go happen. The person that was sending him here told him, in the BASSA Jos North, you are safe. Nothing will happen. You will go to BASSA Jos North and come back. Nothing will happen. And he did. He came and he left and nothing had happened. Please, let people not scare us into dividing ourselves too much. Let's not do it. I will disguise myself. God has helped me. I am not an elaborate human being. I am tiny. I have my way of entering a place you will not know. I will go without you knowing I've been there. I have been entering places and have seen. Hariyanzu, matanmu, da wasu mazajenmu suna shigan ungon rogo, ungon rini, daga gefen tudun wada, daga gefen janta, su yi harka su sake su dawo. They are fine. Har yau, mutanenmu daga gefen Hausa Fulani suna talla a cikin angon rukuba, a cikin tudun wada, a cikin janta, su je su yi tallan su koma gida. Nothing is happening. Please, let's not let unnecessary division to come between us. The peace we have, I am saying this with emphasis, because if we do not do this, my work will be difficult. We will not be able to do anything. We hardly convinced that man to bring us rice. Those of you who got the rice, because of simple issues. Let's continue to support the governor. We do not have anybody again, whether you are APC, whether you are PDP, whether you are Labour, he is our governor. Let's just support him. Whoever is your leader, you support him. After his tenure, you support the next person. It doesn't matter. I will continue to support him. I will continue to work with him to continue to make sure Plateau thrive. Thank you on behalf of myself and the constituents. Let's engage ourselves critically. There is no need to shout, no need for any bad words. Speak the truth the way you understand it. We don't have to repeat things that are already mentioned. If you do not understand something, you say it, and the moderators will give us a better understanding. If you are speaking, please listen to the moderators. We are here to rob minds. I'm here to listen. Abunda kuka fada shine zamu culminating mu komar da shi Abuja. What we see that will make sense, we will tell you this will make sense before we leave here. What we'll see that will be difficult, or it is not in the ambit of what we need to do, we will make you understand before we leave here. At the end, we will go out here with a direction, and then we'll be focusing on those directions in 2025. May God bless us, may God keep us, may God make 2025 a very fruitful and a better year. I love you and thank you.